world. Hello world. Yeah, so today is we always try to bring you guys the best stuff we can and all our close friends and homies and people that do awesome stuff. Because as you know, we're Maciej and I are constantly growing and wanting to learn more um, every day. And there's so many amazing things happening on the internet and awesome people. And now that we have this thing called the internet, it's so awesome. It allows us to connect with people from afar. So um, we're bringing on Raphael, who's what you go by Silverwing. Is that the alias in which you go under as well? Your company name?
Yeah, that's the alias. Well,
Yes.
I'm a freelancer. I technically don't have a company, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, welcome aboard. You've helped me. You taught me how to use fog, which then turned into the Nun film, which was a lot of fun. So thanks for that. And so, like, I was
Yeah,
really
you're
curious
welcome.
about the volumetrics and stuff. And so, today the focus is going to be on substance designer or painter. Which one are you going to be focusing on?
It's the painter.
Okay.
Of
Awesome.
course, it's like specific for painting or for texturing hero objects. So the painter is more a general approach, I think. So to make generic textures and stuff. So yeah,
Awesome.
we are talking about the still life, by the way. So
Yes.
the
Yes. Exactly.
one I did that was my last private work. So
I'll share my screen too so you can see what I'm looking at. Because if you look at it on the stream, you won't be able to tell. But if you look at it via, I don't know,
right, yeah.
yeah, it'll be a lot better. For some reason, that maybe kicked you off the. Maybe I have to stop that. Stop sharing screen. Could you share your screen again? Then I'm going to pop you back over to the main screen so we
Oh,
can
okay,
show.
yeah.
But yeah, I
Let's
mean,
see.
here's some of Raphael's work, and you can find his work. I'm going to post that in the stream. If you have questions, it looks like Mohammed's not going to be here today, but he mentioned Joe is going to help out. So if you have questions, just hit up Joe, attach him, and he's going to send me a message in the chat. I won't be around to do this and that. So if you guys have questions, specific questions, have articulated questions, and then hit them to Joe, and then Joe will get them to me, and I'll do my best to keep up on them as we go through. But yeah, you should check out his work. He does an exceptional, amazing photoreal renders and all that kind of awesome stuff. So, which is
Yeah,
something that,
thanks.
yeah, it's awesome. It's cool. It's like, I mean, Maciej has Grant Warwick on his streams a lot, and I'd say like you're like the Octane Cinema 4D Grant Warwick. You know, it's like,
That's nice.
but you do more than just like one image though, which is cool. You do animations and stuff too. So boom, burn. Just joking. Grant's pissed right
Nah,
now.
Grant is
He's
great.
asleep.
Grant, if you're hearing this, fuck you.
Maciej said it, not me. So yeah, no, but
No, he loves it.
you
He's a
guys,
good.
yeah, he
He's a
loves
good guy.
talking
He's a good.
shit. So, but you guys both do exceptional work, and I mean, there was a sand experiment that I'm showing right now that was really awesome. You had seen like a Disney short, and then you like try to figure out how to make like the sand from there, which
Yeah,
is
right.
insane. That was really
So there was this thing on the website called FX Guide,
yeah, effects guide, right?
where they explain how to do or how Pixar did their sand, and it was actually made of all the small grains, so they didn't use bump mapping or stuff like that. So, but they tried to get as close as possible to realism. And as you know, sand is made of small little grains, so they just populated the whole beach with millions and billions of those small little grains. So I try to figure out to redo that with my limited options in Octane because they have like huge servers and stuff like that
Yeah,
too.
and teams of people. Yeah.
And teams, of course, yeah. Don't forget teams.
Yeah, teams. Yeah, you're a one man
Those are
band.
most important.
But the results
People
are stunning.
collaborating.
Yeah, the results are amazing. Like, you've seen this, right, Maciej?
Yeah, I've seen it before, and I was, whoa.
Yeah.
Are you working for Pixar now? What?
Yeah, no, it was really cool, man. And it's great to see too because I think there's a common thing that we do, and I hopefully you guys understand it's all like jokes and funny. But we're always like, no, this renders the best, and blah. It doesn't.
It's really cool.
None of that stuff
And it's
really
great to
matters.
see
It's all
too,
about
because I think
like
we all
the person that's implementing the tool, really, for the most part, you know. So
Yeah, and there's like so many aspects to rendering. It can be also non-photorealistic and be a great rendering. So has nothing to do with how great a rendering is.
yes, it's all about knowing what you want and being able to get there. But I thought this breakdown that you did was really awesome. So I'm looking forward to that. And then today we're just going to be focusing primarily on this one topic of this one project, which is the still life that you did, which like I think Grant
Yeah,
Warwick
yeah.
did one too, right? And that's maybe did that possibly inspire?
Yeah, actually, that was kind of an inspiration for me. Yeah, because like I actually noticed that a couple of artists did still lives lately, and I don't know. Did you ever notice that there is like some zeitgeist in the air where
yeah,
like
there always
everyone
is.
tends to do like the same stuff?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
No way.
It's the hive mind. I think it's the Pinterest hive mind thing.
The other thing is like the inspiration. So if someone like is I don't know what it's called, like if he's before his time and he does something great, and then the other people start to also do stuff that goes in the same direction. But then, like for example, I think with the invention of the telescope, it was like on two places completely separated from each other,
Yeah,
or
I
something
remember
like that. Was
yeah.
it the telescope?
Yeah, it was the
I'm not
telescope,
sure.
I think.
Yeah.
Two guys created it at the same time in different parts of the world, but they didn't have the
Yeah,
internet, so they
exactly.
didn't know, like, hey, I made
Yeah.
that first, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, which is really odd, right? There is a hive mind that happens. Usually when you have those like
Yes.
groundbreaking special moments in history, basically, that happen. But the
Yep.
internet, I think, makes it turns it up a lot because there's so much information being conveyed every
That's
day,
true.
you know, which it makes it amazing. But yeah, this still life from Grant is just friggin' so epic. I'm showing it right now on the screen. So yeah. it's So
V-Ray,
cool.
brah.
Yeah, it's like,
V-Ray, brah.
Oh god.
yeah,
He's
really
already
good.
he's already starting his V-Ray talk. Yeah. Yeah, you don't. I mean, you don't use V-Ray. Is there a particular reason besides like Maciej uses
Well,
it and it upsets your face?
I have used V-Ray before Octane, and I guess people don't like to hear what I have to say about it, but the
Hey, you can speak your mind here, okay? You're
right.
amongst friends.
But
No, I'm
the
just joking.
integration of V-Ray inside of Cinema 4D
Yeah.
has been a bit slow, so
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I'm always
is
seeing
true.
like the other programs treated with priority. So like Max comes first, and then Maya, and then some other software implementations of the
Lightroom,
newest
and then
releases.
ZBrush, and then
Right,
Photoshop.
and
I'm just joking.
is there V-Ray for Photoshop?
No, I'm
Yeah,
just,
we had an interesting conversation with Grant about it because he actually mentioned that the exact same topic. It's apparently a different team that is working on it. They're like basically taking the source code, and porting it.
Yes, it's true, and I actually have to thank them in the first place before like saying shit about them. But
yeah, of course. I mean, they're working.
They had like
I have to thank them because it was one of the first external renderers that came to Cinema 4D, and it was something you never heard of or seen before in that capacity. Like it was 10 years ago or 15 even. But it was back then, it was really, really great to have more options than what was
Standard render.
what Cinema 4D delivered. Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually that started me on my path, or part of started me on my path towards render engines and towards being interested in render engines. And I really still love V-Ray, but in comparison to Octane, where there's a new release and like a couple of days, 3 days later, Ahmed, the developer for the Cinema 4D plugin, has already implemented that. It's like a much longer journey for every V-Ray release. So
Yeah.
I rather hop on that train where the where the
Oh, you're right.
newest
You're right,
features
though.
are
For us, for
implemented
Cinema
right away.
4D users, it makes the most sense.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah. There's strengths and weaknesses. I just wanted to make sure that people know we're just messing around. So, and
Right.
we're all
Nah,
using different.
we're being
things.
serious.
Yeah, we are being serious. So, I mean,
Well, I'm German. I'm allowed to be serious.
at all times. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's that's the only way it works. So, yeah. So here we are. I mean, you're sharing your screen now, so we can kind of, I guess, go through.
Right, yeah.
talk
I'm
about-
just sharing my Behance page of the project. So yeah, actually it's more or less a shading test, but someone also criticized it on some forums, and some other guy jumped in and said, what's a still life other than a shading test? Like even the painters back then in the day, they did shading tests, so to speak, with their still lifes. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I have an opinion about that kind of people, but it's
Right.
not safe for work.
Nah, it's okay because it's kind of a shading test because I wanted to explore the pipeline between Octane and a Substance Painter, because I never worked with Substance Painter before, and I wanted to try out how it worked and what I needed to do to bring in the textures in the right way so they looked kind of similar in the Painter viewfinder and in Octane. So I guess best don't waste any time and jump into the project.
Yeah, and just a heads up, sorry, the stream was lagging a little bit. I'm using my two machines and they're just dumping tons of EXRs up into Dropbox right now. So I just paused it. So if you guys are like, hey, what's going on? I'm sorry. It's just, I'm working.
Yeah. Ash's always working.
Yeah, it's always something.
You're incredibly busy all the time. I don't know how you put out so much work.
Thanks, man. I don't know either. I should probably take a break. Maybe not, though, so.
Been telling you that.
But I like it though.
Right.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's the scene, and for some reason I like to work on it unshaded. So I have my Octane compact viewer here.
This is a custom workspace that you've made, obviously.
Yeah, normally I have like the live viewer on my second screen, but for this purpose I do. Right, yeah, I do sometimes, not very often. I do online trainings, and therefore I have this setup, and that comes in handy right now.
Awesome.
Yeah, so as you see, it takes quite a while to load the scene because they're not primarily because there are a lot of objects in there, but because of the textures.
It's grabbing all the textures that you've made in Substance then.
Yeah, hopefully.
You switched to 1080s now. That's cool. I think I remember seeing that too. So if you guys are interested in keeping up on what Raphael is doing, you can find him on Facebook, right? What's the best one for people to find out information? Because you're pretty active on there.
Yeah, on my Facebook page and on Twitter, normally it goes hand in hand. So if I do a Facebook entry on something I did or something I bought as my 1080s TIs, I tweet about it and I blog about. I don't know what you call an entry in Facebook. Not blog. It's just Facebooking.
You just post it, like posting up on Facebook, I guess.
Post,
yeah, Facebook post.
Using that word.
Yeah.
Just blast it out.
Yeah, you blast it.
Exactly.
Social media blast it.
Yeah, blast it. All right. Yeah. So, right. That's the almost the final work, and I tend to go and don't do too much Photoshop or After Effects work to it later. So normally I try to be as accurate as possible within the shaders, and then only boost the contrast a bit and change like slightly hues or something like that in the color. But I try to have the render looking as good as possible. I tend to render it a little bit more flattened, so I kind of get this log C look. I don't know if you know that from like filming stuff. if you look at the screen while on a shoot, it looks kind of flat, and I'm aiming for that to be able to determine my whites and my blacks and the comp and not in the render. So I
how do you
have
get to that
control over
setting?
that.
Like it's like a camera raw, right? How do you get to that?
Well,
Is it
the
linear?
the linear setting is the one I use because I render out EXRs, and EXRs should be put out in 32-bit,
Yeah,
and
I do the same.
therefore you should. Somewhat takes long here. Come on. Not sure. Here we go. Yeah, the first thing you should do if you put out 32-bit images is go and save it as float linear.
Okay.
And this basically scraps all the other stuff that you can set in the camera imager. It will put out a linear image no matter what you do.
Awesome.
And so if you want to save your render with a tone mapped curve or other than linear and gamma 2.2, then you have to save it as float tone mapped, I guess. So, but you lose brighter than white information if you do that. The image gets clamped to black to white, and I really like that you can have brighter than white information in your XRs when you just save it as float linear. Not sure if you familiar with that. It's really nice to.
I do switch it to float linear, yeah, because
Right.
I think that helps in post. And usually I try to
exactly.
export 32-bit EXRs. If I'm not doing if I do a sequence, I'll just do like a PNG 8-bit for it maybe, and then if
Right.
that's like to keep it cheap, and then if I have to, I'll bump that up to 16. But if you're doing a still image, the best way, it would be this, right? This is how you get the most like open range so that you can then adjust it.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you use Lightroom for adjusting your renders and stuff?
No, actually, I use After Effects for almost all of my renders.
Interesting. Is
Be
that
it
so you can
stills
go and take
or
that as a
animation.
pipeline? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I take that as a pipeline because, like, if you're doing corrections to images in Photoshop, you have to, and the client, for example, asks you to re-render some parts because they don't like that the candle holder, I don't know if that's the name, is made of chrome. They want it to be of copper or something. So I have to take it into Photoshop again and then just tweak it again. And I don't like that. I want to just replace the footage, and then all the effects that I did before are applied to the image sort of automatically.
Awesome.
So I do that with After Effects. And well, it's also limited in a way, but I don't do a lot of paint work, so it's works out great for me. But other artists might have a problem with that, so it really depends on their workflow. And the other thing that I really like in After Effects is, well, Nuke might be better, but After Effects is more capable of handling 32-bit
it's really good
data
at the
than
integration.
Photoshop.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So I don't like it to be in Photoshop. You have to like reduce the image to 16-bit to get access to all the filters, and in After Effects you get most of the filters with 32-bit, and that's really nice.
Do you use Sapphire or Magic Bullet, or do you just use the defaults and then kind of stretch them?
Well, I use the defaults very much for the longest time. I recently bought the Trapcode suite and use Shine in some of the newer projects, but
I heard about that. Yeah.
Generally, I'm fine with the built-in tools for now, at least.
They're really good. Yeah, I use a lot of Sapphire stuff, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It's super good. Like
I
the
worked
glows
at
and all that
facilities
stuff.
before where they have had that, and I really like that, but it's not cheap, so I try to work around that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it is it's an expensive thing, but we had Brian on. I believe it was Brian. He came on. He's a representative for Sapphire, and he broke down some cool stuff too. So should get you in contact with him. Just remind me. Yeah, because
Okay,
you're
cool.
a power user, so I'm sure that they love having people that are using this stuff. You'd probably love it because there's endless amounts of tweaking and chromatic shifting, and
Yeah, there's
glows are
like
really good, and they work great with
the
32-bit stuff too.
the After Effects filters are great, but with Sapphire you get like for every After Effects effect you get like much more settings,
Yeah,
so to speak.
absolutely.
Right. So yeah, as you said, the flexibility is immense.
Yeah, it's immense, nonstop, endless amounts. Yeah,
Right.
it's awesome. So this looks really
So
cool.
already,
I like how when you have it all organized. Do you have fog in this shot as well?
no, I think it would have rendered too long, but it sort of looks a bit hazy, I guess, but it's no fog in here.
Huh.
I guess it's the flat shading that I try to aim for.
Yeah, looks nice. Feels very
So-
Dutch, old school style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, of course, I looked up some of the great artists that did still lifes and looked at what made them look the way they do, and I really like the orange light. I don't know. I'm very bad with names, so I can't remember.
Oh, like the artist? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at the
Yeah,
Louvre,
there's-
like in
right.
France, like a month or so ago, and I saw some of the most incredible still lifes It's
Right.
crazy. It's just, I can't even. I took photos of it. I'll have to find the artist's name, but they were just, they were insane. Imagine showing them this. Imagine showing them how to take something abstract and weird and numbers basically and turn it into an image. I wonder what they would think of that. I don't know if they would be able to comprehend that. Imagine
Yeah.
somebody, 100 years from now looking at what we're doing here. What would that be?
Yeah.
I'm always like, what would that be? Is it?
Well, the time scale and advancement in our technology is exponential, so
Yeah.
I can't grasp what technology might look like in 100 years. So
Yeah. I think
it's
it'd
just-
probably be a lot less of just pushing the buttons and more just manifestation of thought. And that's when we're
yeah,
going to really be able to see if people
probably.
have actually good thoughts or not. Because like, your ideas suck. I could see them right now. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Your setup's really cool. You have, it looks like, the thing I like is you have, did you use an HDRI room or something to kind of help set up? So you have a wall
I
and then
have
a room?
this. Like, I don't know where I have it from, but I have this rather crappy HDRI that I use for the scene, and then I have a light source. So let's zoom out here. Let's find the camera first. And for some reason, Sumo 4D tends to be a bit laggy right now. Come on, push the button. All right. So let's
the scene's
stop
heavy,
live
yeah.
rendering for now. So the scene isn't very big. So
Cool.
that's sometimes it's very disappointing for people who look at my scenes because they immediately stop after the view of field is like out of frame. So
Yeah, no, that's why would
kind
you
of
why would you
kind
put
of
any extra
interesting.
stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I decide for the field of view and the viewing angle in the beginning, or like more or less in the beginning, and then I just build for that.
Yeah, awesome.
You're
So-
composing it like film shots, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm not that familiar with composing film shots, but
You have the idea in your mind and you're building the shot
Right,
to
yeah.
that. So I'd love to
well, I allow myself to make changes. So if something isn't working and I imagine it differently in my head, then of course I do the change. I'm not that strict that I say, okay, I have imagined it, and
Sure.
Cornelius is like that in a good way.
Yeah, in a good
He
way. Yeah.
really
He's
has,
here in the
like-
chat too. What's up, buddy? Gotta have him back on the
Right.
stream and come and join us.
Hi, Cornelius. Yeah, so he's really strict with having a field of view in the beginning and then keeping to it all to the end. It works out great for him. For me, I allow myself to have a couple of small changes, smaller or bigger, depending on the scene. So yeah, and the stuff you can see up there is just some, what's it called? that one here, octane scatter
Yeah.
on top.
What is that exactly? Is it like a dust, like a replacement of dust or
Yeah,
something?
exactly. So I looked at some still lifes, and they have very dusty stuff on there
Mm-hmm.
to make it seem old or like used, or add another aspect of quality to the picture. And I tried to mimic that.
Awesome.
And so
Could you show
yeah,
us how you
that's
would go about doing that? Because even if you
sure.
just take a basic scene like a quick ground, a sphere, and then applying that
Yep.
scatter material, that'd be really cool.
Great. Let's see if I can do that.
I like how far you go
Right.
down the rabbit hole with these, though. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, that's good enough. Yeah. You're like, yeah, you're like, I'm going to keep going, you know? That's the thing
Well,
I really admire about like guys like you and Grant. They just keep going further down that rabbit hole and really showing us the potential of these things, you know, because yeah. And Cornelius does the same thing. I'm like, damn, didn't realize like how far we can go down this thing, but let's keep going.
right. Yeah, but I think it's thing of experience and like you being used to stuff, and
Yeah.
because for someone who is new in some areas, they're like it might be really advanced to do something to uh, for example, to make a vertex map. And for people that do that all the time, it's like god, doing a vertex map, it's not very special.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe it was the wrong example. You should do that with unwrapping stuff. But yeah,
Mm. So you made a new piece of
I hate a
geometry.
wrapping.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
I'm gonna. The 3D coat is so far has been amazing. And we'll do some streams about that soon.
right. Yeah, I should watch those because I'm still unwrapping with Cinema 4D,
Oh,
and
don't do that.
everyone tells me that.
No.
Yeah, exactly that reaction.
No, I mean literally. So far from what I've learned is you literally take your geometry, however complex it is, you bring that into 3D coat, and you use the UV editor, and it's amazing. It's incredible. It's super powerful, and you basically do auto unwrap, and you can also do an algorithm that they have in there where you condense where the geometry, like the UV is on the actual sheet of UV, like the texture UV. You can adjust how tightly packed it is too, so you can make it really densely tightly packed, so you get more out of your texture, which is really great. So
Right.
it's
Right.
awesome. So you made a new piece of geometry with you grabbed this top selection of it, and then you made a selection of that.
Right. Exactly. So I use I use the geometry. I just it's a random geometry, and there's a way to do a selection of the points that is angle based or orientation based.
On the
But
normal?
right, yeah, sort of the normal of the world normal. But actually, I can't remember right now. But it would come in handy for more complex objects where you don't want to just select points on all the edges that point upwards to collect dust. So.
Yeah.
But right now I just selected the points, made a vertex map by going here and creating a vertex map, set it to 100%. You can even blur out this area here to create some sort of, it's not working. Okay, let's do it that way.
You're
Can blur it
viewing
out
from the
with
front. Okay.
various tools, but I just make another vertex weight and set it to 50.
So that gives a softer fall off.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
So because of course, obviously the dust is settling on the faces that are most pointing upwards, and then the less they are point upwards, the less dust they collect. So
Gotcha.
right, and then I just go to surface, because otherwise it will just pin those clones to every vertex, and we don't have enough vertices to make a dense dust layer.
Yeah.
Right, and then just do, I don't know, just.
Did you have to do this individually for each object in there, or was it like you grabbed everything and then made that selection?
Yeah, I did it for every object, and
Okay.
not all of the objects have that. I guess 3 objects or so have that. It's the the big vase here and the bottle back here and the table, and I'm not sure if anything else has it because it's I thought it's just random objects collected, and some of them might be cleaner than others, so maybe I was just lazy.
Yeah, it's all good though.
Right.
No, I mean,
Right.
you have different techniques that will work, so.
Yeah. So if you just make a render here, and I'm not sure why it's updating that long, but that way you can just assemble stuff on top. And there's another great thing you can do with a vertex map. You can
Looks like a
use
teenager's
it
face.
also. Yeah, true. You can use it linked to scale, for example, and then those dots
that's
become
cool.
smaller based on the vertex map. And if you increase the count, you can. Right now, it looks like a, I don't know, alien mushroom or something. But
Awesome. Let's eat it.
yeah.
Yeah. Go to the moon.
Right. I guess you can do all sorts of stuff after eating that.
It works pretty fast too, huh? Because it's a lot of geometry, but it's basically your GPUs are calculating this now, right?
Right. Yeah. So that's a great thing about Octane Scatter. It's doesn't use Cinema 4D to push the geometry around. It uses Octane, and for that, Octane is incredibly fast. So you can push that up to, I don't know. Let's break it.
Yeah, let's break it. Let's break the shroom. Yeah.
I don't know. I like it's.
That's awesome.
10 million.
Wow,
I don't know how
that's
much.
insane.
Or maybe only.
You need to show this to Chad because he was going off about Arnold being the king thing, and then he was showing me this exact thing. Like, look, it's so good. I'm like, you're doing this exact same thing. I don't think he knows about the scatter, the Octane scatter.
Actually, that's the same thing I did, the sand grains in the picture you mentioned before.
Ah, that's right. I remember you mentioned that in your post.
Yeah.
Because it's really powerful, and you can
So,
get a lot of abundance with it.
Right, and the other powerful thing is you can use Cinema 4D effectors. So if I go to MoGraph and do a random effector or something, can bring that in here.
Oh, that's cool. It'll randomize it.
And now I have
like
an afro mushroom. All right.
Yeah. Beeple, here we come. I think he was doing it he was making cities and stuff, I think, and then he would make a city by using the same technique.
I think it's fairly popular among Octane artists to use that because it's it gets you stuff look cool very fast.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah, and what I did with the sand grains is not using I did put in a bit of random position, but I used mainly the scale and the rotation. So the grains themselves, although there are just 5 or 6 of them, look vastly different.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's creating that. Yeah. That looks really cool, though. Yeah, it looks like some kind of weird growth. And if you can colorize it, it'd be really interesting.
And there's another feature that's really nice. I turned down these the numbers. That is the keep away.
Yeah.
Because I do that because I had crashes with keep away with lots of geometry, because as soon as the number is different or is another than 0, the algorithm kicks in and tries to push away objects from each other, so you get a more uniform distribution. Let's see. And the keep away number is actually the radius. So let's see. That might be a bit bigger. Normally my scenes are rather small, so it doesn't work that great because I have the random still on, but now you can see that you get a more even distribution and they're not touching each other.
Oh, that's cool. Like water droplets almost, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Like
I did this water droplet test. Let's go back here and come on. Why is everything slow?
Life is slow. That's probably the streaming, though. Could be the streaming. So when you're doing this, when you're approaching this, when you're getting into Octane, like how much of your time is spent just trying to understand the parameters? Do you spend a lot of time just tweaking everything and seeing how it works, or is it a lot of just kind of guesstimation and trial and error, or a bit of both of those together?
Um, well, yeah, that's the example I was looking
It's
for.
crazy.
But to answer your question, it's I really try to learn about the parameters beforehand. Actually, when there is a new release, I go through the release notes and see what new parameters they introduced, and I try to read about it, and then later be knowledgeable about it when I use them, or when there is what's it called? Well, when there's a chance to use them. So
Sure, you have it in your mind, like, oh, now I know the
exactly.
water thing. I could use this for this job. Yeah, you're like the perfect case scenario. For me, I'm like, yeah, whatever, just work, and I get frustrated when it doesn't work, and it's mostly my fault. So, yeah,
It's just another way to approach things, I guess. Sometimes I'm a bit too analytical, I think. So yeah, this way I'm doing stuff. It's just I know that it should work, so I do it, and I don't do work that I beforehand I do it imagine undoable. So it's not the best solution, maybe, but
no, it's cool. I was thinking about that today
yeah,
because I was thinking, like, why is it that I don't get the results that I want in Octane and all these stuff? And it's mostly just because of time dedication,
right.
dedicating the time to understand the parameters.
And like the other weird thing about me is I really like to read about new advancements in rendering technology and stuff like that. I'm doing that quite for a while now, and it is tremendously helpful if you do that because you then can all the settings, what they are doing. And for example, the most asked question about Octane is, or the most answers I give to question is just change the ray epsilon.
Oh, and what is
And
the ray
because,
epsilon actually doing? Because I've had to mess with that as well, but I don't know what it
yeah,
does. I just kind of like push the button. I'm like, happier,
right, yeah.
or more upset. I'm just pushing buttons
Actually,
until I'm much more or less upset.
this just breaks down to the graphic cards not being able to run double precision on your renderer, so you get slightly less precision on your render than on a CPU. That's the reason why you don't have ray epsilon on a CPU. And the actual thing that's doing is determining if you have a reflection ray or a camera ray. Maybe I should do that in Photoshop to explain it better.
Yeah, break it down. Oh, that's
This
new art.
this
That looks like a cool piece of art.
goes,
Yeah. They keep changing the background for those things.
yeah. Should I reopen it?
No, it's fine. Yeah, it's cool. This is the
Nice.
latest CC. It has all kinds of new things. I need to get it.
I actually haven't read about it. So, yeah, I read about renderers, but when new Adobe stuff comes out, I'm kind of behind.
And there's questions
Right.
coming in. I'll try to answer some of them as they come in, guys. Yeah,
Right.
thanks for asking them. One of the questions before, I actually go to do the ray epsilon, and we'll get in. I'll ask the one answer.
Yeah,
We'll get
let's
one
do the
question.
ray epsilon first.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Why isn't that thing painting right now? Really lost in translation right now. So let's just take the pen here. So if you have a ray hitting a surface,
Yeah.
in real life it will be just straight away reflected, and that's the way it is. But in computer graphics, you have to pin down the origin of the new ray, because that's not the same ray. There's one calculation for that ray, and then one calculation for that ray. And when the ray is hitting, the surface determines what the new ray will do. And so the ray epsilon is shifting the ray either towards the hit point or away from the hit point to avoid artifacts, because sometimes because of the single precision of the graphic cards, the ray isn't calculated in a perfect manner, and it will start behind the surface, and then hitting the surface, it should reflect off, and then giving the wrong result because this ray and this ray is connected. Sorry for only using one color.
It's okay.
So you get some sort of strange artifacts in there. So what you can do with the race bias is, let me go back to my initial. Here we go. Is shifting the ray away from, or the ray starting point away from the surface, so it has some play to not get spawned behind the plane. And
so it's
if you
producing realistic results then.
Yeah, if you're working with really small scenes, you should put the ray epsilon smaller, meaning put more zeros behind the comma, behind the dot.
All right.
Because
is that like
otherwise,
the range? Is that the range of contact point on the surface? Is that what it's representing? That number?
It's the number is actually the units in your scene. So if you have this is 1 centimeter, and you have the ray epsilon to 0.0001, it's like this far away or something.
Okay, so it is it's almost like if we were to say it's the geometry, and you're just making it so that it's making the range of that contact point from in and out smaller, right? Is that right? The real estate?
Right. Yeah, they best go with an example always.
Yes.
Learned that.
Yes.
So examples. We didn't touch the substance, and we are already running out of time. So
that's fine.
We need to schedule another.
Talk. We can go on for. I mean, definitely. There's never enough time for these. We haven't gotten to substance, which I would love to do after this, maybe.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. Let's go for an HDRI.
And next time we do this, we'll just jam right in. No pleasantries. It's okay, it's time to get in now.
Just hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always tend to use the HDRIs from Maxim Ross. They're really great.
His HDRs are great. Let me send the link for you guys because I use him, and he's a really nice guy too.
And for some weird reason, I always use the toilet. I'm not sure why, but it does some incredibly well results.
Poop. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's you shouldn't have disclosed that information, but now it's forever living on the internet. Yeah. So there you go.
So I have people guessing my artwork is rendered with a toilet and some reflection, maybe.
Yeah, there you go, guys. That's the secret to all of it. You got to be in the bathroom to get that badass light. So, yeah, there it is, guys.
Let's create some just metal-looking, some fake metal-looking surface here, and let's do that. Let's do a small fillet here. Right. Okay. So that should serve the purpose of showing the ray epsilon, I guess. So right now we have the metal cube, and then we have the floor. And if I increase the ray epsilon to a bigger number, nothing happens. Great.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can extreme that. No. Come on.
I have seen the difference in it before, so I know what it is, but yeah.
Well, maybe I should do that another way. Let's do it without the fillets, and let's move the cube to the. Yeah, exactly that. What you just saw, it was that. But where's it gone? Come on. Maybe I just go to the path tracing and try.
Yeah, path tracing might give you more information.
Come on. Bad example.
It's okay. People were asking, or I saw in the comments about my shirt.
Well, the thing is,
my shirt.
Let me just real quick go back here and then just sorry to have interrupted you.
How dare you?
Yeah.
It's totally fine, man.
So if you have a too big ray epsilon, you get a ray, and this should be reflected against the cube and then backwards somewhere. But what happens instead, you get an offset inside of the cube, and it will start here and hit the inside wall of the cube, and therefore you get a black border around here. So that happens if your ray epsilon is too big. You should make it smaller to account for that. And the best way to see a way to small ray epsilon is, hopefully I can make this example. Let's just get this really big. Let's make bigger here. And then move back with the camera.
Let's go look at the toilet.
Yeah, let's go look at the toilet. And then you get this sort of effect here.
Yeah.
And this is actually the effect when rays start behind the surface. I'm not sure. It must be a thing with the field of view and stuff that some of them hit the surface from the back and some work out fine. But if you have flickering geometry in Octane or you have this bending effect, then it's time to have a bigger ray epsilon. And on the other hand, if you have black borders or if you have thin-walled glass, I did some light bulbs once, and they look solid. They started to look solid, and I didn't know back then about the ray epsilon and where it came from. So actually, it's another good example. So if you have a thin glass wall, the light needs to enter, then gets refracted, and then carries on its way, and the angle here is the same as this one. And if you have it too big of a ray epsilon, it will spawn the refracted ray here, and it never catches the second plane where it gets refracted into the right direction again. So everything after the fill, the thin glass wall, it will look as if it's filled with glass, all of that area here.
Okay. I've noticed that too. So if you're working in a scene and your global scale is accurate and you're getting those weird results, it's just a matter of turning up or turning down the
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you're working with tiny scenes or smaller scenes, it's mostly making the number smaller in the ray epsilon. If you're working with bigger scenes, if you have a planet or bird scale, like if you have skyscrapers or something like that, it's probably the other way around. You have to increase the scale, so make it bigger.
Awesome.
Right. Yeah.
Excellent. I love it. This is like, you ever watch that show Good Eats, or like Bill Nye the Science Guy, like just breaking down the science instead of being like, this is the best renderer ever. It's like, no, this is how you use the proper tools, and this is the science behind it. This is great, yeah. Because for the most part, I'm like,
I like your impression of Bill Nye.
that was you and Grant, actually. That wasn't Bill Nye. You're the best renderer ever, man. V-Ray for life.
Of course, V-Ray for life.
You get your V-Ray forehead tattoos and everything.
I just gotta make a face tattoo
awesome.
with V-Ray like
So
right
you're
on my
saying
forehead.
if you get a V-Ray forehead tattoo, you get V-Ray for life?
Oh, I don't even think
License?
no, that probably wouldn't happen. So yeah. No,
That would be too funny though.
This is great. You want to show us some of the substance stuff? Maybe we could just focus on one
let's
thing.
finally
I know
go
we
into substance.
I know we have a ton of time.
2
but,
minutes.
Yeah.
Hopefully more.
Everybody's loving the knowledge bomb too, so we're gonna have to do this again if you're up for it, because we're just barely touching the surface. I would love to go further into some of the questions.
Yeah,
and we can maybe
there's
evolve
so
this
much.
too, So maybe I can have something that I'm trying to do, and I could show it to you, and like kind of like the problem case scenario where I'm like, okay, I'm trying to do this thing, and it's not doing what I'm asking of it, and then you're pretty knowledgeable, obviously, so you'd be able to go like, oh, it's this one thing that you never would have thought of, and here's how it is, and it's like, click. And you can break down the reasons behind it.
I'm sort of good at that. Yeah, I don't know where that comes from. It's just, I guess that's where I concentrate my abilities to do stuff on.
Dude, you got that German goodness, man.
Problem solving renderers.
No, it's good. It's really helps because Yeah, for the most part, I try to get good results, and sometimes it just doesn't work. So yeah,
Yeah, but on the other hand, I
completely
get
my fault.
way too what's it called, too precise on stuff. Like I try to model numerically correct, and I almost like almost everyone I talk to about this says I'm crazy.
No, it's good, man. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. Listen to
Yeah, they don't
listen
know
to,
what they're talking
they
about,
don't.
obviously.
Right.
There's a good question that just came in. There's two I want to quickly get into really quickly before we jump into substances. What's the easiest way to keep everything to scale? Which is kind of a. Do you start your file with like dropping in a cube for the local scale, and is that set default to a certain size that you then build upon? That's how I
Actually,
do.
yeah, I normally try to have a real world object in front of me when I do stuff. So even if like I don't have this thing here or the candle, I try to imagine how big a candle would be, and then I just, oh, it would be sort of the height of that glass, and I have that glass in my office, so I just take ruler, and then I just go ahead and measure that glass, and then therefore I can sort of eyeball what height the candle is and what height other things are.
That helps then. Yeah, because I don't do that sometimes, and then I'm like building. When I made like Epoch, for example, it's you just they wouldn't allow for
Well,
that
that's
scale.
another example. Yeah, exactly.
I'd have to
If I do
remove a couple
space
zeros. Yeah.
stuff, I don't model in real world. I think that's that's there's somewhere where you have to draw the line.
Yeah. There's certain like you got to
So,
use that
but
ruler and
normally,
Epoch.
like the people who know me, that yeah, good luck measuring a planet with a ruler.
Yeah, going to Pluto, that was the hardest one because everything I actually made everything to scale, minus zeros obviously because I couldn't do it, but I made everything, even the moons and the orbits and everything with Chris. We made it all, made the solar
Yeah.
system basically, and then we were like, oh shit, it doesn't work because the scale was all wrong, and the octane had the Ray Epsilon issue. I think that's probably what
Right.
exactly what
Yeah.
it
I
was.
guess you would have ended up with
Yeah.
a Ray Epsilon of
Damn
2000
it.
or something.
Where were you? Yeah, where were you? Because I was like, why is there black stuff all over the planets? It doesn't look right. And I was like, the normal amount of cussing
but
turned up a little
you
bit
ended
more.
up with a great result. So
Oh, thank you.
you
Yeah,
made
we
it.
tried. We had to
Yeah.
shrink it, and then we had to make bespoke planets. We couldn't do the whole scale because my goal was like, oh, we'll just make the whole solar system, and we'd just fly around it. That way we'd have the
Right.
whole rig. We'd have all the planets, the orbits, everything set up, all to scale, all moving as they need to, and then
That would be interesting. Yeah.
yeah, but we didn't.
Because
I just
there,
wanted to
like
travel around. So yeah.
Yeah, you posted that once, the website where you can actually scroll from one planet to the other.
Yes.
And it's like you scroll 2 hours
Yeah.
till you reach like from Sun to, I don't know, Pluto or something.
Yeah, it would take you a long time just to get there. That was a really cool website for scale too. And
Yeah,
that
there's
system.
so a lot of space in between the planets,
A lot
more
of
than
space
you
between space.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing. Yeah.
So, right. So let's just
If
push
you-
forward.
if you have time, we can go over a little bit,
substance here.
but it's up to you though.
Sure,
so.
yeah, I have time.
Okay, we're
All
gonna
the
do a
time in the
4-hour stream. Guys, ready? Yeah. No, I'm just joking. He gave. No, if somebody suggested we do the Joe Rogan style streams, Maciej, we do like the 3-4 hour marathon. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I can for sure seeing that happening.
Yeah, we should do something. We wouldn't want to put that burden on our guests, but Maciej and I could probably do something like that. So down the road, because it would be
It's
fun.
kind of hard to keep those streams and podcasts to reasonable length, I guess. Every time I'm on something like that, it's more likely to get longer than shorter.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's just so many things, and you just talked
Yeah,
about like
exactly.
one small aspect. Like we talked about,
I just talked about this
Ray Epsilon.
and about the scatter.
and also linear color space too. So
Yeah, a little bit about linear color space. That's way more like advanced
Yeah.
topic. I could talk 2 days about linear color space.
yeah, let's do it. 4-hour streams. If you can't handle it, then get out of here. Then yeah, and if you're subscribed, you can always watch this stuff whenever you want to. So yeah.
So yeah, let's go back to, or the first time, to Substance. Actually, before I do that, I have to say that for using Substance Painter, you have to unwrap everything. So you have to do that kind of stuff for all the objects you want to bring into Substance Painter. For Substance Designer, it's a different matter, but for Painter, you create hero objects, so to speak, so you have to do all the finessing to them. Okay, so I'm not going into unwrapping in Cinema 4D.
Yeah, don't do that. I'll show
Yeah,
you guys
don't
in
do that.
3D coat. It'll be a lot better.
Right. Dodge Army.
Yeah, no, it takes forever. I did it with Epoch and it drove me crazy. So.
Right, yeah. No, I do that, and I do it very cleanly, but it takes forever. You're right in that. So if you look at my nice unwrapped stuff, so it's really nice and clean. But I guess you can get there in like a few minutes in other programs.
Yeah.
So actually, let's don't waste time here, and let's start at my substances. Let's see. There.
Ash, what happened to your face? So stupid.
Can you still see, or is it like
I can
very
still see.
like, is it the scene like the scene in what's the name from? Oh, come on, where the Ku Klux Klan guys can't see a thing. What movie was that from? Oh,
I forget. I remember that scene though. Yeah.
Django Unchained.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Django. Yeah. I mean, it's a little limited, but it's okay. Can you guys hear me on the stream?
Yeah.
Quite good actually.
Yeah, awesome. No, why did you pick Substance over everything else? There's like Quixel and everything. Like even 3D Coat has its own thing.
Actually, that's a good question, and I have to answer that I don't know why exactly I did use Substance. It just was the first program that I heard of that does stuff like that, and I just tried it out and liked it. I actually never tried Quixel. It might be also a very good program, but I really was satisfied with the Substance. And what I really like about the algorithmic manufacture of Substance is that they really fast in developing their stuff. So there's a new version every couple of months, at least since I joined them. So
Awesome. Yeah, I've heard it's really awesome. Like, I take the Doge mask off. Nah,
Right.
I heard it's got like some really great
hot under there.
Yeah, it gets really hot under there. It's funny, but
Have
it's
to
not
pipe
that
in an
funny.
air conditioner.
You should
So
keep
it
it
gets
though.
loaded.
Keep it on. Keep it on.
All right. Sorry.
So yeah, well, that's the final result that you also can see in the scene. And the real-time preview here is more like a game engine, but it does a really good job in previewing what you. Yeah, it's PBR.
Is it GPU based or is it pulling off this CPU?
I guess it's GPU based. Not sure. It must be GPU based. It's OpenGL, I guess. So it's like more or less like what you get in Cinema 4D in the picture viewer, in the viewport, sorry, but with a better engine behind it.
Yeah. 3D Coat does that same thing too.
Right. Yeah. So it doesn't need to render, which can be an advantage if you tweak stuff very like back and forth and stuff like that, so you don't have to wait.
Yeah.
But I think the best thing might be to import something new and go from there. So actually, let me just show you this. It comes with a huge pool of pre-built materials, so you're not lost if you, like I, just starting up in Substance. So
Great.
you can just use whatever they pre-built, and it looks pretty nice from the start go. So from the get-go, I guess it is. Yeah. So
it's cool to give you a good base to build on. So
right, yeah.
awesome.
So but you can also build your own materials, of course, if you're more advanced. So let's make a new project, and then you have. It might be a bit rusty because I didn't use it for a month or so.
Sure. Metalness is for Octane, right? Octane does the roughness, metalness. The metalness is basically specular.
Well, you
right?
have to build your own node tree to match what the program is outputting as textures. But I was going with the metalness.
Okay.
So yeah.
Because you're going from here to Octane, right? But if I were to make say like assets for I don't know, like Unreal Engine or something, they have their own setups for that transition. Right,
yeah, there's a list of other setups you can choose from in there.
Is Octane in there? They put Octane in it?
No, it's not.
What?
Yeah, actually, you also have a couple of renders you can export to, and Octane is also not among them. So I had to create my own exporter style for that. And basically, I just didn't do a lot of stuff to it to make it work. I just inverted some, like I just set the normal type from OpenGL to,
because you got
what the two options from DirectX to OpenGL, because they are like, I think the green channel is inverted or something.
Okay.
So I tried that out and just took note what was wrong and then just fixed it in the exporter, or not fixed it, but I just calibrated the exporter to match my needs.
Awesome.
All right, let's go and go to the exports. No, where's it? Maybe I just have to go to my original project real quick here and go to my 3D. And I did some OBJ exports because Substance Painter takes an OBJs, and I have some presets to export to Substance because you have to flip some axes in there, and maybe I should write some manual or something to like Cinema 4D to Substance and
like
back to Octane or something.
A bridge between the two.
Right? Yeah.
That'd be great.
Not write a bridge, but like a PDF tutorial or something where people can look up stuff. But right, which ways is that? The B, that one. So let's just open up that one. So, and it takes a short while, and then it's there.
And not too bad. It's very quick.
Yeah. So, of course, if you have like subdivision surface models that I have, you should export them with subdivision surfaces. Normally, Painter is made to import a low-res mesh and a high-res mesh, but I use the low-res mesh as a high-res mesh in my usage as I use that, because the end purpose isn't using it in a game engine where only low-res meshes can be applied, but use it in a final rendering, and therefore just use the high-res.
Did you model this vase?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Like my scenes obviously are a lot smaller than Cornelius's scenes, but I follow the same principle. Everything you see in my scenes, mostly everything you see in my scenes is made by me. So all the models I did, and
you model in Cinema 4D, obviously, right?
Yeah, I model in Cinema 4D.
Cool.
So some of the stuff in the sand test here, the shell isn't made by me. So that's
man.
But I
How
flagged
dare you?
that out here. So if you're looking for great scale, great scans, you can go to that 3dscans.com. I'm not sure why the site isn't loading properly. Oh,
yeah,
no, it is.
This place has got some really cool scans.
It's really, really high-res scans.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going off topic all the time.
No, it's totally fine. No, I mean, you're not. It's kind of all connected, because that's the one thing that's confusing. It's not like you only work in that one program. There's just so many of them. And depending on what you're trying to do, you have to use multiple different steps, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Real talk.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not like we have a producer here that's like, no, you have to be on the topic all the time.
Have to be on the topic and on Chatio. So, yeah.
No, it's totally fine.
All right. So the first thing, if you bring in a object, you need to bake the basic materials, and don't worry that they're flagged with a exclamation mark. It's because I use one resolution of geometry for both the low res and the high res. So the way Substance Painter is working is it actually doesn't know a lot about the geometry that's in the scene. It takes its information from maps, and you have to create those maps from the geometry at first, because it's faster to look at pixels than to look at 3D data. So Substance is reading out those maps. So let's just bake the default textures. That might take 1 minute or something.
The UI is nice and clean and organized too, which helps, I'm sure, too. Feels like modern as well, and it kind of looks like Photoshop in a sense too.
Yeah, especially when it comes to the layers later, it's really close to Photoshop, and I think they took inspiration from that, or also to not confuse users, they just kept it kind of similar.
Yeah, last thing I like is when you try a new software and it's like the navigation is completely different. It's like, why Alt is for rotation where like everywhere else is for
ZBrush.
Yeah, ZBrush, exactly. That's what comes to mind.
Yeah. It's like, hey, we're gonna break everything. Gizmo, hotkeys, knowledge, thought, everything's gonna be completely new.
Yeah, I heard 2D artists really liking ZBrush because they're never used to the 3D workflow, and they're getting into it quite quickly. But as a 3D artist, you struggle a lot because there's some certain standards.
Yes, you unlearn everything to learn it again.
Right.
But they're going to have a hard time when they have to take it out of ZBrush. They're like, wait, huh? You mean where's that thing? Like, no, you have to relearn everything again. Yeah. No, it's cool when that's kind of a design of understanding, like, okay, there's Photoshop and Adobe, which are the kings because they have a huge, user base. And so we're going to use that as a building implement basically to help us with the rest of the design. So yeah, that's great. That's cool. So you can start off with your smart material, which is a PBR material.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, you have like those materials which are not smart. Smart meaning that they don't create like surface-oriented effects like weathering in edges or creases and stuff like that, but they're just looking like metal or aluminum or stuff like that. So that's
cool. It's almost like hammered steel or something like that.
Right, exactly. But you don't see that there's dirt here or something like that. That's because it's not a smart material, and you can add it afterwards. Actually, it's really simple to add stuff like that. You can just drag a second material on top, and maybe I shouldn't have gone with a fabric. It doesn't mix well with vases.
Yeah, this is very similar to 3D code.
The thing is, I don't read, and it looks like rust from the thumbnail.
There's got to be a dirt one, right? Like with alphas or something.
Let's go with the rust or something.
Okay, cool.
So you get the rust. And actually, there are smart masks, and smart masks are part of smart materials. And then you can maybe dirt dry or something, and you can actually drag it on the rust, and then it creates a blend between the rust and the other material that's underneath.
Are you subscribed or did you buy it? Because I was thinking about subscribing. That's like $18 a month.
I have the rent to own subscription, so it's like 19 euros or something a month, and
19
if you're 19, yes, not 19.
People are like, what? I'm not buying that. That's a car payment.
The cool thing is, if you rent it for a long time and you actually have paid enough to own it, then they will give it to you.
Oh, really? That's awesome. These guys this is a future company for sure then. Thumbs up to these guys.
You can
Algorithmic,
And
is that
it's-
the name of the company, right?
Yeah, algorithmic.
We got to get them on the
Exactly.
stream, Maciej. Let's get them on here too. So
Yeah.
So the other cool thing is that that's not only one product, it's a suite. You have like the Substance Painter and the Substance Designer, and
Yeah.
you can choose what program you want to own first.
that's cool. It's like
So,
$300
yeah.
bucks a program or 150 or something like that for each one, but it's like
I'm
I think
not quite sure, but yeah, you looked it up.
yeah, USDM, not euro. Let's see, Substance. I was looking into it, and people were asking about it in the chat. That's why I bring it up. Painter. So
Right.
like it's $19 a month, I believe, US dollars to get access to it. And the one big deciding factor for me was that they're constantly updating. So if you buy the package as a standalone,
exactly.
it won't have the updates, I guess, because it's kind of stuck at that point, right? Is that right?
Not quite sure, but
Yeah, I'm not sure
at
if that's
least
the case.
maybe it's a 1 year service or something. What's it
Gotcha.
called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's 8K ready.
I'm
so
not
that's cool.
sure. I have to read the. I have to read it again, but
We'll have to get them on here so they can talk about it. Maybe we can give some access out for free or something. They'll sponsor some peeps or something. Let's do it, Maciej. Let's do it. Can you put
Do
that
it.
in? Can you put that in Asana so we can do it?
just
Do it. Do it. Do it for daddy.
Do it for daddy.
Kiwi for daddy. Uh-oh. It's starting to get weird. All right, I'll stop.
that's okay.
You're encouraging the weird? Don't do that. Don't encourage the weird. It gets really
Might
weird
get out
very
of hand.
fast.
Right.
It's the indie license, pro license. Okay, cool. So yeah, $19.90, so $20 basically a month. And if you buy the Substance pack, which has Substance Designer, Substance B2M, which looks like a plugin maybe or something, like it connects to programs, and then Painter and Designer. So that's $300. That's the pack, and then you can get it individually for $150 each. So yeah, cool. Sorry, you're going. I'm loving the value
No,
of this
I'm
stuff.
just
It's great. It's
playing
using
around here. Yeah.
It's using all this the depth based off the normal maps, right?
Sorry, didn't catch you.
So it's making all this depth, this stuff that's catching the edge, is based on the normal map material that's used.
Yeah, it's
from the
based
mask.
on the normal map and some other channels. So what I just baked here, what took a minute before, is like a normal map, world space normal, an ID which isn't used right now, and ambient occlusion, curvature, position, and thickness. And out of those maps, Substance Painter can do quite a lot of effects. And the other cool stuff is that you are not limited to a smart shader, what it gives you. You can tweak it. So this is the only thing I have to criticize a bit. It's a bit overloaded with options here, and it's quite hard for me to distinguish certain, because it's not just one thing. It's like that's the global contrast, and then after that it's the texture, and you can tweak stuff.
Oh wow, that's
And,
cool. So it's affecting the mask on the noise. Wow, that's
yeah,
cool.
exactly.
Based on the
So
curvature
you
too.
can, yeah, and there's like really a lot of stuff you can do. And for me, the interface, it just needs a little bit of more space between the single effects, so I can
Just to know the
read between those,
differentiating
or like,
pieces.
yeah, differentiate.
Yeah. Okay.
Because right now they're just all on top of each other,
Yeah.
and when I just
Looks like
go in
V-Ray,
and
but
want to
worse.
tweak ambient occlusion for
That looks like V-Ray reading right now. It's just a wall of like, I don't know.
Yeah, so
Upsetting Maciej.
so at least
Stop
the,
bounting me, dude.
Trolling you. No, that's cool.
Nah.
the thing
all
I
good.
would add is just some little space between those settings, so you can differentiate them more.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
so cool.
you can create quite some nice effects very fast.
Yeah.
And actually, like smart materials, and you can stack materials on top of each other as long as you like. It will get rather complex, but you can do so.
Is there a node-based
And-
editor for this too, or is it all going to be kind of like layers?
Didn't find one. I'm not an expert in this. I
Okay.
just use it for my still life, but I think the Substance Designer is the one with the node-based. And I didn't see any node-based type in here, so
And
maybe someone in the comments will correct
yeah,
me.
you guys know something. Also, there's algorithmic YouTube. There, I was asking people if they wanted more information, or if I asked you like what would be the best resource, and you said algorithmic's YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's quite good because you can really they have quite some tutorials on there.
Yeah, let's see if I can find their YouTube channel. If you guys go there, then you can find a lot of tutorials on this, and it's actually, I watched a couple of them. They're really great, and I think this is really awesome if you're interested in getting into learning more about this program. You can, the one thing I thought was really good, and I'm not sure if it works for here, but you can upres. So if you're building your texture in like 2K, you can upres it up into 8K, I believe, and that's the max. But it does it without deforming things, which is what 3D Coat can't do, unfortunately. And I imagine they're probably working on that, but which is good, because let's say you're making some kind of something like a render, like a high-level render for Octane or something, and then you want to go like, oh, I want to make this for a video game, but you can't put 8K texture in a video game because it would crash, obviously. So you have to drop it down to 2K. Or if you make it in 2K for a game and you want to upres it to like a final output, it's really cool to have that quick scalability rather than having to rebuild everything on the fly, which is, I found that to be an incredible asset too. So
yeah, that's true. That's like the thing is that it in the background works procedurally. So right now I'm working on the scale of 2K, but I can just use it. It will take a bit, but it's already done. So
Yeah.
now you have 4K textures. And even if I painted on it, it will upres the paint strokes that I did into the other resolution. So it's really flexible.
yeah.
And you can only preview 4K, but you can export 8K, and that's the maximum right now.
That's all that Octane can use anyways too. I don't think they can go up to 16 or 32, I believe.
I think they can, but you're limited with the, what's it called? Displacement. Yeah,
okay.
That's limited to 8K.
Boo!
But on the other, right.
Yeah, I really wanted like more resolution when I was doing Epoch. I was like, what are you talking about? 8K? I was like, come on, get out of here.
Right.
It's 2017, people.
The other really cool stuff is that one here. That's a particle brush.
Damn,
and you
Daniel.
can just brush particles on the geometry.
Dude, that's
and
sick.
You can
it's like a little
really,
magic fairy dust too. It's sick.
Right.
I was watching Sleeping Beauty the other night, like a boss, and they had like little particle animations.
Watch
wow.
it too.
It's such a beautiful film. Wow, that is just awesome. That's so cool.
You can dirty up stuff really quickly that way, so it's really nice. And there's a wide variety of like brushes. You can do like this porcelain breaking thingy.
Cool. Damn. That's so rad. Dude, Maciej, we could use that for like the geishas and stuff, you know? Create that porcelain
Yeah,
look.
brother. Yeah, brother.
Nice. That's really cool. There's like electric lines and everything too. Damn, this is sick.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Daddy likey.
Broken glass and stuff like that, or shots fired.
Oh, damn, shots fired. Wow, that's so cool. Wow. And you're still pretty new with it, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I just use it on the Still Life. I didn't use it again afterwards because I was doing a commercial project with normal shaders, not like hero rusty objects and stuff like that.
So cool. I love it. This is so scalable. Could you, and we'll wrap it up after that, could you possibly, we'll have to do this again, and we'll just keep doing them as much as you want.
Sure.
Because people are just super pumped on having you here, and everybody's asking you to teach a class, obviously. So there you go. Yeah. So if and when you ever have time to do it, that'd be amazing too. So, but if you could maybe walk through the process of, okay, now we have this rad texture, and now we want to get it quickly into Octane as fast as possible, so we can kind of get in our scene.
So to get the textures over, you just go to export textures. And then I've made my Octane presets, and as I said, it just inverts the green channel in the in the normal map, so it's nothing fancy.
Oh, okay.
And then you can select your folder to export to, and just go here and
So clean.
just
I love it. Yes.
do that. And
Can you come and help me clean up my stuff
that should
too?
be it. You can, as I said, can change the resolution. It will take a bit longer to export 8K, but let's stick to 2K for now.
Experimental? What's that? And when you exported your textures for your still life, did you do it at 4K or 8K?
Depends on the object. So
Okay.
some objects needed 8K, some needed 4K, and I did even some in 2K.
The magnifying glass, I think, looked like it was possibly 8K.
Yeah, it was very high resolution because
Called
that
it.
was the first thing I built.
Pat myself on the
Yeah,
back.
sorry.
No, I'm just making jokes, being a silly guy. Sorry.
It's fine.
No, because when I saw the image, I was like, wow, that texture looks really, really dense, so.
Right, yeah. So let's go and just port that to another scene. And another thing I do if I make smaller scenes is take the scale to millimeters, so I get some reasonable sized representation on my screen or my viewport.
Oh, okay, cool.
So yeah, and so let's go into the nodes. And that's actually the tree I generated to bring in the textures that I just created.
Nice,
And
so clean. Man, clean nodes.
Yeah, that's, I don't know why I do that. It's
No,
just some...
You're so down on yourself for being awesome. Stop it. This is great. It's so clean. Man, mine look like just horrible.
Not sure why I can't move stuff right now. Maybe it just crashed. Maybe I can wait another
give it 3 minutes.
30 seconds or something.
I call it the Octane 3-minute break. I just take, okay, Octane needs 3 minutes. Somebody's asking.
Yeah, sometimes it's really that way. So normally it's like more like 1 minute or something. But
yeah, it's pretty quick usually. People are asking if we would prefer Octane over other rendering engines. Honestly, they're all great in their own capacity. Arnold's awesome. Redshift, I just got access to testing out Redshift, so I'm going to start testing that. Octane is what I personally use, and that's what I design my machines around, and that's why I've been spending a lot of time. Maciej uses both. Maciej uses a lot of different ones, except he doesn't use Arnold, right? So
no.
But soon enough, maybe we'll find out Arnold's the one that works the most robust and the best for us. But there's no real right answer, unfortunately, from my perspective. You just got to try whatever you feel like is what you want to put your time invested into. If you want to be invested into GPU rendering, then like Octane or Redshift or even the new V-Ray RT uses CPU and GPU power. So you kind of build your render engine around the machine you have. But another thing I would suggest is that you should probably use a render engine if you're going to not just work from home. You should use a render engine that's going to be common to what place you go and get employed from, because then it'll help you transition quickly into jobs. So don't listen to us always, because Maciej and I are freelancers that work from home, when we're like wild, wild west, like bam, bam, flying, shooting bullets at everybody, not caring about what everybody else is doing. But that's not really all that responsible. But for Raphael, he's a freelancer, but he does work for studios, and so he uses Octane. So I don't know if that helps at all. So Octane seems to be kind of becoming a more common thing, I think, in productions. I seem to find so.
Yeah, I like Octane because it's really physically accurate. That's sometimes people criticize that because they can like hide lights from reflections and stuff like that. But I really like that to work like a photographer on it. So I have to think my way around to light my scene the way it's lit on a set or on a photo stage.
Yeah.
So
same.
yeah, and
they're all great though.
Of course, there are limitations for production, because in production, if the director wants something, no matter what, you cannot deny him, and therefore you need renderers that allow that flexibility. So Arnold for that one would be really nice, I guess. But
yeah, and people that love Arnold, come on when we have Chad Ashley on, because he like loves that renderer and he goes on about it, and you go into it. We can talk about it too, but yeah. We'll have to do like a battle of the renders 4-hour marathon podcast thing, live stream. And we'll find out at the end of it, none of it matters. It doesn't matter. It's all a big joke. And it's just a matter of like what you want to do and how you want to do it. And that's it. So, yeah.
Yeah, pretty big deal of that is exactly what you just said. But I think it's like more like 75% the artist and the rest is the renderer.
Yes, thank you. And I agree. And you're literally like an expert that I go to for legitimate, like logical solutions. So I'm going to trust what you just said. So there you go. Yeah. But it's good to question everything, you know, don't just listen to us, find out what works for you, and what you want to do, you know. It's so funny too, because like Maciej, remember like when we first started doing this, it was like, oh, like let's just do Photoshop and painting. And now it's gotten so complex to make one image. It's like, oh, shoot me now. The only reason I think I want to do, like, I want to allow all this complexity in my life is because a still image is great, but a moving image or being able to get around an image or an object is like, it's too amazing not to try. And I also, for my opinion, I believe that the future is in this, like, step towards the future, basically. It's like, it's all going this way, you know. We had Vitaly on. There's the toilet. Damn, it's almost sitting on the toilet again. Too. There you go.
Yeah, here we go.
You should just rename that like my favorite one. That's so perfect.
Toilet waste.
I'm gonna take a picture of this, and it'll be the key of the stream. Will be the toilet face.
Right. Yeah, like that. So here we go. Make it big for you.
Oh, that's what she said. That's great.
All right. Let's finish that up before.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, okay, so actually I have opened already the, hopefully it isn't crashing again. All right, that's actually not the shader I was looking for. That's not the shaders you were looking for.
These aren't the droids you were looking for either.
Yeah, right. Let's just copy some other random shader. That's good.
Come on.
Okay.
Hurry up.
Yeah.
Cornelius is requesting my horrible Arnold impersonation. Come on, get the render. Click the toilet.
So I guess it's kind of working right now. So let's see what I did here. Basically, you have to do a bunch of stuff because there's this metalness that Octane natively doesn't understand. So let's just trying to get the textures in there that I need on the desktop here on the new folder. So that's the base color. So I load the base color, and no, I don't. And sorry, that's a bit sticky right now. I guess that's because of the texture handling right now.
Yeah, it's just taking a while to load it.
And somehow, hopefully that will get better. That's the metallic, and the metallic is a switch between everything that is metal and everything else. So that's looking like this. Let me just go to edit to show you. So it's like everything that was the metal surface is white and everything else is black. So it's a mask for masking metal to non-metal.
Awesome.
And I used two fall-off maps, one with a dielectric curve for non-metals and one with a metalish curve here to get the metal. And I actually pipe in the texture, the diffuse texture, because the color from parts for the metal also comes from that texture. So I have to take that into account. It's a bit complicated if you do that the first time, but
it's the color of the reflection, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
The reflection color changes as the light hits it and bounces off. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. So normally you can do that way cheaper, but the way I am is doing it as accurate as possible. So I just trying to factor in the Fresnel in here too, into the non-metallic and the metallic stuff. And then we have the roughness, which determines the glossiness or the roughness of the object. And last but not least is the normal map, which should be nice and bumpy. So here we go, and then we should get a result. Yay!
I love the toilet. The
Yeah.
toilet makes the shot, honestly.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
flush it.
So I can.
I love that your HDRI is a freaking toilet.
let's
So good.
do a
Okay.
shadow catcher real quick. No. I'm making it better.
Okay.
So where's
So
the
good.
shadow catcher? Help me out. Matte object. Here we go. That should be it. Should work. Maybe it's just because it's direct lighting. Maybe use path tracing.
What are you trying to do?
Cast shadows on the toilet.
Oh.
Forget it.
Yeah, I think it is that. It's in the common section. No, it wasn't doing
Oh,
it.
yeah, no, it's working. It
Yeah.
just needs a reload.
Yeah.
Well, it's not realistic right now. Let's just trying to. Right, so here we go.
Nice. Oh man, that's great. I love it.
And maybe it needs a bit of tweaking, but it looks very similar than the viewport here. So
That's great.
just
Yeah, that
really,
bridge is great. I'm gonna have
let's
to figure out
forget
your
about
node
the-
tree and why you did certain things, but that's great.
yeah, I can explain that to you or to all of you in the next session.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. We'll focus on that a little bit. Maybe what we'll do is I will try to do some 3D code stuff, or I'll try to play with this, or maybe Maciej will try this as well, and we'll run into some walls, and maybe we'll bring you on, and you can be like, bam, you break it down, you know. So, because that looks
Yeah.
awesome. Dude,
Don't forget, I'm not all knowing about this. I just
Nobody
started
is.
Substance too, so yeah.
Anybody that says they are, they're lying, but that's true because it's constantly changing, and you'll never know because it's constantly changing, and there's so much to it, you know. So
That's true.
yeah, this is
Especially
awesome.
nowadays in the age of internet, where everything is changing much faster than
Yeah.
ever before.
Ah, that is so cool, though. I mean, you could
Yeah,
think about how
also
powerful that
very
is. Because,
cool.
like, dude, it was wait until I show you the UV unwrapping in 3D code. You're like, dude, game over, because you're gonna be able to model your stuff really quickly, unwrap it in 3D code, bring it into Substance, do all your procedural textures or whatever you need to, and then drop it back into Octane. Boom, and you'll have such an awesome asset, you know. So it'd be cool to make it so it's really streamlined, you know. If only one program could do it all, but yeah. Oh well, that's what happens. This is great, man.
I kind of like it that
It's broken
there
up.
are more than one programs. Yeah, because I have like bigger programs or bigger companies have the tendency of slowing down quite a lot. So
That's true. It's
we
true.
need those small
Independent ones.
upcoming independent programmers that think they can change the industry, and they will change the industry. So that's kind of great.
Yeah, good point.
Have those, yeah.
I agree.
Yep.
Good point. Dude, awesome. Thank you so much for being here. This and sharing all this awesome knowledge with us. This is great. And we'll definitely do another one, guys. So I know you guys had a lot of questions. Try to get them in there. But yeah.
Yeah.
So we just, there's not enough time in the world for us to do this
Right.
right now. So we will do another
So
one.
yeah, thanks a lot for having me.
Yeah, of course.
It was a
Yeah.
pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. And so I'll send everybody that if you don't know where his work is and all that stuff, how to find him. What's the best way to get at you if they have a question or something? Follow your Facebook. Is that probably the best way? You've always been pretty awesome about sharing your knowledge and stuff.
Right,
which-
yeah, they can follow my Facebook or tweet me, or I don't know, even mail me. The mail address is on my page, so
Okay.
you find it there.
Well, yeah.
Hopefully I not get flooded with mails now.
Yeah, sorry. If you do, then if you do, and if it's too many questions, just consolidate them all and bring them to the stream, and we'll just, take care of them.
All right, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, because instead of sending long, lengthy emails with complex stuff, like just bring it here if you want. So it'd be a lot easier.
Yeah.
So I posted the
That's
link
true.
there so you guys have it. And also, like Cornelius is sharing your ArtStation as well. You have a lot of different places. So, dude, thank you so much. Then now what we're gonna do is shift over. You can stay on if you want. I'm gonna do a critique with Alec. We do our homework reviews for our students, and this is Alec is up next right now. So, Alec, are you there still? Did you die? Are you still on the call?
I'm here.
Ah, snap! Do you have to go to class or something like that?
No, my class got canceled today, actually, so I'm all free.
See, you don't need that school. You don't need that brick and mortar school, man. So I'm just joking. I can't say don't go to school. That'd be bad. But I will say don't go to school. Be at Learn Squared. No, joking. All right. So let's go through this and talk about, this is like a homework review, and this is what happens when you're part of like the mentorship program, whether you're with like Jama or Alex or Maciej or anything like that. It's probably one of the, for me, when I learn things, like I love learning as close as I can to the original source material. So if I have a question about, say, substance or octane, like we just did now, I will ask Raphael because he knows his business. And so what we're doing right now is for those that don't know, I'm going to be critiquing Alex's work on title design. And there's also, you did another thing too, right? Which is like homework for Alex's class, but we won't get into that because I'm sure you already figured that out. So yeah, why don't you run me through kind of briefly the thought process and the ideas and what you did, and then I'll give you my overall thought, and then we'll move on.
Cool. I mean, this wasn't, I've already taken main title design, and I finished Alex's class a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I was like, just wanted to try to apply all the stuff to like a project, like all the ZBrush and the key shot knowledge, right?
Yeah.
So I was like just messing around. I made the first render, and then I was like, oh, this is cool. I'll just make like a title sequence out of this.
Good. Good for
so
you.
Like, yeah, so I just like spent 7 days and just like grinded and tried to get one done. I also have to like send my stuff to like where I'm interning, so I wanted to like have a like motion piece with like all my like experience in it, you know?
Awesome. Smart of you.
Yeah,
it's good that you're taking advantage of this, because like it's one thing to learn things. The next thing is, the really important thing is applying your knowledge, because if you don't, then it just kind of fades away, you know. That's It's important to have that. So this is really cool. And the thing I love too is you're combining classes. That's one thing I like to do personally. I know Maciej's here too, so Maciej can attest to that as well. Is like you're learning different things and you're all applying them to what is your overall goal, you know. So which is smart. It's good to do that. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is cool. How did you get this deformative like face? This is really nice.
So I like started in ZBrush and then like used mask to split it up, and then brought it into Cinema and used like the cloth tag and stuff.
Oh, cool.
And cloth dynamics to like give it like that wonkiness, you know?
Yeah. That's cool. It almost looks like it's like shattered but underwater or something. It was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Final rendering is done in standard render?
I used Keyshot actually.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Which is
how you like
nice.
Keyshot?
It's nice just because like it's live at like in school. I can use Keyshot, or I can use like Cinema standard render.
Cool.
And like I can see it live, and I can like I watched Jama's 3D coat course. Like I just kind of went through and watched all the videos.
Yeah.
And how he uses like HDRIs to light things, and then like kind of using that, like it just goes super fast. It's way faster. I don't know.
Way faster.
I like it.
No, I mean, because you don't want to sit there and wait for buckets to load. I mean, come on, you know, like you want it to happen as quick as possible, which is really important. So enough about the difficulties and the complexities of like just getting it done. Why don't you talk to me about your ideas and why you're showing me these images and what you're trying to convey and stuff to put it together. So.
So I made the first frame, and then I had to figure out like the synopsis or whatever like the concept was, I guess. So I just like got my friend to come over, and we just like talked about it for a little bit and tried to figure out something that could turn into a sequence. So it was like a character-driven drama, kind of similar to I guess like Frail in the title class. It's like about this like female like idol, I guess, who has a lot of like influence and power, and then like kind of realizes her past and kind of like has these regrets. So like that's just a quick like
that's all it needs to be
line
too.
that I came up with.
Yeah, for those that don't know about how the class works, is I kind of designed it around how real world experiences that I've had with directors or productions. It's like sometimes they'll give you very minimal information, so you'll just have like a log line or a couple lines of information. If you're not like really high up on the stepping ladder of the production, that you'll just basically get like an email with like a brief breakdown that won't have a lot of information. So you need to extract as much as you can and elaborate as much as you can, and then kind of build that into your imagery so that it helps convey the main tones and themes of things. So, and some directors, they don't like to show you with a lot of stuff. They kind of want you to do what you're going to do, and so this is also another process. So, and that's all broken down in the class too, and just how to go about manifesting those things. So I like that you're kind of thinking outside and kind of creating these really interesting abstractions, and I like that you kind of had somebody else to talk to about this too, because that kind of helps. Andrew and I he helped me a lot with designing frail even in all those other projects. So it really, if you're making something, it's good to also have somebody as a soundboard to kind of go, what do you think of this, or what about that, or that always helps, having that kind of information there at hand. So that's a smart move. Yeah. Your work is growing. I mean, we've had Alec on before. If you guys remember, he did this really beautiful sequence for the title sequence class as well. There's these beautiful graphical shapes and stuff, and there was just like nice gradients and stuff that was really beautiful. So it's cool. You're kind of using same kind of things, but it's like all you're using now new techniques that you're utilizing, which is great. So what was the biggest challenge for you in this process of from ideation to final?
I don't know. It wasn't really like crazy challenging because I just used what I already knew. I wasn't like trying to come up with anything, like trying to use any tools that I didn't know. I kind of knew exactly what I wanted to do and how I wanted to go about it. I think I like knew everything I needed to know to like make it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I kept it simple for that reason.
Great?
It's sick. It's really nice.
It's so powerful to know what you want to make and just make it, Did you sketch out your ideas and stuff too before? Did you draw out your frames?
Yeah, I mean, I had really bad thumbnails, and I just like wrote them on like my to-do list for the week, and just like folded it and put it in my wallet and took it out every time I made a render.
Awesome.
I think they're like at the bottom of the page somewhere. They look so bad.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to be like, it just is like an idea, like a reference for the idea,
Yeah. My favorite render in the whole thing is the quality of the hand here and how well it's lit and how it's cascading. So it's really nice. It's cool. It's awesome to see, like, because you're making better renders than I did when I first made the class in Octane, because I didn't know anything about it. So, like, now this is awesome to see you're surpassing me here, which is awesome. So, really cool. The typography is nicely placed. It's nice and clean. It's small enough. I think it fits in the scale. It's good. The composition in your shots is obviously good. You should re-render this. I would suggest that, because you don't want to be showing something of low res like this. This is a no good. It's a bad Alec.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, so I'd definitely re-render that if I were you. But everything else, I dig the formation and the way that things are coming together, and it does tell a story, and I think it feels right, and your typography is really clean, on point. The post effects that you're using is great too. Again, the hand looks really awesome. So all in all, like, the stuff that you're building here is looking really nice. Here's some behind the scenes so you guys can see. This is cool. I like that you're using this. This is another, like, this is why I love that you took Alex's class, because somebody with your design kind of eye and taking that class would make something like this. And that's the beauty of the alchemy of the school. It's like you're taking your design thoughts and you're taking some kind of like concept design and you're bringing that together, and then you're creating this kind of stuff. That's the same kind of process for me, which is cool. And I did a lot of really similar things for Ghost in the Shell, actually, which is a lot of fun, just in different formations. So, but this looks really great, and the process behind this too. Yeah, Photoshop layers and your thumbnails. And I think that's what's key too. It's like thumbnails aren't designed to be like this perfect masterpiece. It's not supposed to, unless you want it to be, but they're designed to get your ideas out as fast as possible. So, but yeah, overall, man, I think you did a great job. This is really killer. I don't really have any notes for you outside of like, just making sure that you redo that render, obviously. But everything else, I mean, it's pretty lock solid. And this would be something that if you were working at, say, Prolog or any of these studios, and you put this in the deck of work, you'd be able to roll with everybody else, So this is, you're getting there, So you're already at the like level playing field where this is client-based approachable. So yeah, you should give yourself a pat in the back and be proud of yourself. I know it's been a lot of work. You've taken my class, you've taken Alex's class, you're combining them. You're also taking Jama's class. So, yeah, great job, dude.
It makes a difference. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Man, sweet. Do you have any advice for like what's next? I know Alex said that I should probably take the matte painting class to like finish off his course and do keyframes, but like,
yeah,
I don't know. I gotta figure out what the next move is, like, to grow.
Well, yeah. So that's a bigger question. So like, what is your goal? Like, is there a studio that you want to work for? Do you want to be freelancer? I mean, gets into an even bigger conversation. So, do you want to be a freelancer? Is that what you're going for, or what's your thoughts? Or do you want to work at a company? Is there a company in mind that you really want to work for?
Well, I don't know. I'm already gonna intern at a pretty big studio this summer, so like I have like I'll try that out and then I'll figure it out probably.
Okay.
If I don't like that, I can like go freelance. I don't know. Freelancing is nice too. It's just like,
You do
I have
both.
no idea because I haven't tried it. Yeah.
Andrew does both.
Yeah.
I talked to Andrew about it. Andrew Harlick, who's also a co-founder of Learn Squared. He does freelance and he works at location too. So, yeah, it's up to you. Not everybody likes freelance. Not everybody likes that. So, yeah. So I think it's a matter of just finding what you want to do, and that would help me answer your question. But until then, I don't know. You know, it's like,
I mean,
you could be like, I want to go work at like, I want to make League of Legends. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's completely different from working at Prologue or working at Blur or wanting to work for ILM. These are different trajectories. So you should probably try to lock down exactly what it is that you want to, you know, lock in on. What about you, Raphael?
Yeah.
What do you have any suggestions for him? Did he leave? No. Maybe he's muted. Maybe his mic is muted. But yeah, I think that it's, there he goes. Think you're there? No? Ah. He's got nothing for you. He has.
Dang. Well.
Yeah. All right. No, but I think just, you know, think about where you want to go, the trajectory you want to go, and then focus on that. I think that's the key. Once you know that, then everything else will kind of answer itself. So.
Yeah. I mean, I know I want to probably be a style frame designer, like
sorry,
do pre-production.
Okay, no problem.
Cool. Yeah, I know I want to do pre-production. Like, that's fun, no matter what. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, maybe think about a list of companies, you know. Raphael, are you here? Do you have any advice for him?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I was muted. I actually unplugged my microphone. Couldn't plug it in time.
Not a problem. Yeah. Do you have any suggestions for him on like future? And this goes for everybody else that's probably watching this as well too. So like suggestions, because you do freelance as well, but you're doing something completely different from the rest of us even. So, yeah.
Not really. In terms of freelance, it's, as you said, it's not for everyone. It's just and as long as you're young and flexible, you can try it. But as soon as you have, like, if you're older, having family and stuff like that, it's getting more difficult to change your ways and change your what you're doing, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes it more complex and stuff. So
yeah.
Think about it and get back to me, and we'll have you back on the stream too whenever, and we'll just kind of break this stuff down. And this will be something that's going to help everybody else too. So there's so many questions that come in, you know, people that are starting out or don't know what they want to do, or they're already in it, but they don't know what they want to do to move forward, you know. So yeah, but that's a whole different topic. Your work now is really great, and I think you should be proud of yourself and congratulate yourself with, like, I don't know, some ice cream or something awesome. I would like a freaking fat bowl of ice cream, you know. So yeah. Amazing stream today, guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much, everybody that's been here and listening. Thank you guys. Big thanks to Raphael, and big thanks to Maciej for being here, and also Alec for being here and sharing his work. We'll see you guys on the next stream. Maciej is tomorrow. Who you got on tomorrow?
Eden Guraziu is joining us tomorrow. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna do some Moi.
Doing a lot
some
of
Moi
moments of inspiration.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Compare it to
as a viewer.
Yeah, join in, because that's going to be awesome. Sorry, what you were saying, Maciej?
No, it's all good. Yeah, we're gonna do some Moi. Compare it to Fusion 360. Fusion 360 added some cool things recently too, but there's some things that I really like about Moi, and some things that are extremely annoying about Moi that I need to figure out and see what works. But from what I can tell, guys, there's one or two things that got me really impressed that you can do inside of that software that complements Fusion 360 perfectly.
Awesome.
For now, at least. And then who knows what's later.
You're going 100% on Moi. So tomorrow, don't miss this stream. If you're interested in hard surface modeling, if you're interested in CAD-based modeling stuff, if you're at all into that kind of stuff, or the work that I'm showing you here, this is the guest that's coming on. He's super nice, and he does awesome work. So this is going to be a great stream. Don't miss it. It's tomorrow at 1:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's pretty much it. And also, we released a new class today, too. Michael Wrigley's second class, which is designed for production. And that's basically taking his last class and continuing that mission to finish everything into animation. It's up. It's free to sign up now. It's available. It's not free. It's available. I mean, it's available, not free. But yeah, cool. Check it out. You guys have a good one. Thank you, everybody, for being here, and we will chat with you guys the next time. Have a good day. Peace.
Bye.